There's a saying among the old-timers in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, a kind of unwritten law. But sometimes the unwritten laws are the ones that get written down in the most permanent ink of all. Since 1982, etched into the corner of almost every ranger's desk, you'll find a simple, chilling instruction. If you see someone wearing the old brown uniform after sunset, radio it in and walk the other way. It's not a suggestion. It's a survival guide. The story starts on a heavy, moonless night, August 17th, 1982. The time was 11:07 p.m. Ranger Thomas Ramsey, a man who knew every twist and turn of these mountains like the back of his hand, was on a routine night sweep of Clingman's Dome. He was a good ranger, thorough, never missed a detail. But that night, Thomas Ramsey vanished. He just disappeared. A full-scale search was launched immediately. They combed every inch of that trail, every shadow under every pine tree. They found nothing. No sign of a struggle, no tracks leading off the path, no Ramsey. The only thing they found was his uniform. It was folded neatly, almost ceremoniously, right on the observation tower floor. It was the standard issue 1982 brown jacket, the kind they phased out years ago. His badge was still pinned to the chest, and when the first responder touched it, he swore it was still warm. The Park Service officially listed him as a missing person, presumed to have met with an accident in the vast wilderness. The case went cold. Another tragic story, swallowed by the mountains. For decades, it was just that, a ghost story told around campfires, a cautionary tale for new recruits, the legend of the missing ranger of Clingman's Dome. But legends have a way of becoming real. Fast forward 43 years. December 14th, 2020, e 5 night is falling, and the air is sharp with winter's bite. Ranger Sarah Cole is on patrol, walking the same path Thomas Ramsey walked all those years ago. She's wearing the new 2025 gray uniform, equipped with a standard issue. Her footage, later recovered and filed under a heavily redacted report, shows her reaching the observation tower at 10:44 p.m. The tower is empty. The wind whistles through the stone structure. It's silent, desolate. Then, her camera's autofocus suddenly whirs to life. It's not pointed at the sweeping vista of the mountains, but it's something closer. Someone closer. The camera sharpens its focus on a figure standing at the far end of the tower, almost swallowed by the shadows. The figure is wearing a uniform, not the new gray one, but the old, unmistakable 1982 brown uniform. He's standing in the exact spot where Thomas Ramsey's folded jacket was found 43 years ago, almost to the day. For a few heart-stopping seconds, there's only the sound of the wind and Sarah's quickening breath. Then, a voice crackles through her radio, a voice that's staticky but clear, a voice that investigators would later match with 100% certainty to the archival recordings from Thomas Ramsey's 1982 missing person file. It says, "Sarah, you're late for your shift." That footage, that voice, blew the case wide open. A secret internal investigation was launched, digging through decades of park records. What they found was buried in old incident logs and handwritten notes, dismissed as pranks or mistakes. They called it the second ranger phenomenon. Since 1982, there have been 41 documented sightings of a ranger in the old brown uniform. The reports were eerily consistent. The figure always appears after sunset. He always knows the name of the ranger who sees him. He always seems to know tomorrow's patrol schedule, sometimes even correcting mistakes in the official roster. And without fail, whenever a ranger tries to approach him, he disappears. He just fades into the trees or vanishes around a bend in the trail, leaving nothing but the cold mountain air and a story no one in charge wanted to believe. The second ranger was more than a legend. He was part of the park's night shift. The discovery of Sarah Cole's body cam footage changed everything. The Park Service couldn't ignore it anymore. On December 15th, 2025, a new mandatory directive was issued to all staff. It was short and to the point. All rangers must wear the new 2025 gray uniform with a highly reflective stripe on the sleeve at all times while on duty. No exceptions. And then came the part that made every ranger's blood run cold. The rule ended with a stark warning. If you see a ranger in the old brown uniform with no reflective stripe, you have 6 minutes and 22 seconds to get back to your vehicle and off the mountain. Why that specific time? No one knows, but the directive was clear. 6 minutes and 22 seconds before the park assigns you permanent night duty. The very next day, December 16th, proved the rule wasn't a joke. 3 rangers were finishing a sweep on the Alum Cave Trail. It was dusk, that tricky time when the shadows grow long and play tricks on your eyes. One of the rangers was filming with his GoPro. The footage is only 51 seconds long, but it's 51 seconds of pure dread. One of the rangers stops and does a quick head count. He turns to his partners, his voice tight with confusion. He says, "Wait, there's 4 of us now." The camera pans around, and there he is, a 4th ranger, standing a few feet behind them on the trail. He's wearing the 1982 brown uniform. No reflective stripe. He's holding a weathered clipboard, the kind they used back in Ramsey's day. And as the GoPro zooms in, you can see him, clear as day, writing down a route. Tomorrow's route. The situation escalated. The final transmission from that sector came just 1 day later. December 17th, 2025. The time was 11:11 p.m. A panicked voice crackles over the main channel. "Control. We have 5 rangers on trail. We have 5 rangers on trail, but only 4 of us clocked in." There's a pause, just the sound of ragged breathing. "Control. The 5th one. He just handed me my 1982 schedule, and it has my name on it." That was the last they heard from that patrol. So, if you ever find yourself hiking in the Great Smoky Mountains after the sun has dipped below the horizon, and a friendly ranger in an old-fashioned brown uniform offers to show you a shortcut back to your car, do yourself a favor. Take a look at his badge. If the issue date on it reads 1982, well, congratulations. The Park Service just promoted you. The Yosemite Night Janitor footage drops in 48 hours. Make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications before someone else signs your name on the night shift.